Okay, so our lesson for today is observing the inside of a seed. And I have a giant seed right here, okay? And what you want to do if you want to observe the inside of a seed, you have to open it. And as you can see, the seed coat on this is all dry because it has not been in any water, okay? And so what I would do in order to observe the inside of the seed or to look inside of a seed, and I don't have any beans with me. Miss Burns has not been out of the house, guys. Okay, so, and I also have some pumpkin seeds. And I know you've already seen what a pumpkin seed, and this is the inside of the pumpkin seed, the white coat has already been taken off. Miss Burns is eating those. You know Miss Burns loves pumpkin seeds. And the other seeds that I have also. So in order to see the inside of this seed, and I'll be right back, I'm gonna get a container. So if you want to see the inside of a seed, it's easier if you take the seed and you soak it in water. So I'm going to put our seed in water, okay? And we're going to let it sit so that we could check out the inside of the seed later on today, okay? We'll check out the seed later on today. So let's go back and let's look at our vocabulary words. Embryo, the part of the seed that develops into a plant. So inside that shell, inside that seed coat, there's a part that turns into a plant. And we're gonna look in there and we're gonna see that. The seed coat, it's the outer part that protects the seed. Okay, it's the outer covering. Like you see, I have a sweater on and it's keeping me pretty protected from the weather because in my apartment it's a little bit cold, but I don't want to turn the air off. So I have on a sweater, like we wear our jackets inside our classroom. That's what the seed coat does. It protects the seed. Cotyledon, Miss Burns can't say that word. The tiny leaf inside a seed where food is stored. Micropyle, and these are some big words that you are learning. You are learning some big words. The small scar on the side of a seed where the seed was attached to the plant. And then germination, the process by which a seed begins to grow. So if your germination is when the seed begins to grow. So the words I want you to really remember is seed coat, that's the outer part, the coating on the seed. Embryo, that's the part that turns into a plant. And germination, that's when the seed begins to grow. Those other two words are bonus words. They're bonus words. Something that I'm letting you know, but you don't really need. You don't need to know right now. All right, so here, look at these bean seeds. And if you have a bean seed at home, you can get 2 or 3 bean seeds and soak them in water and watch what happens. And then you could open them up and look at and see the inside. And in your science journal that you're keeping for me, you're going to draw what you see, draw a picture of what the seed looks like before. So if I was doing my science journal, I would draw a picture of what my avocado seed looked like before. And then I would draw a picture of it soaking in the water. And then when I open it up, I'm going to draw a picture of what it looked like on the inside. Okay? All right. So the inside of a seed has 3 parts. The inside of a seed has 3 parts. The outer covering, which is called the seed coat. It protects the seed and keeps moisture inside. The embryo of the tiny root, the embryo is the tiny root and shoot attached to the inside of the seed. So when you open it up, you should be able to see that little shoot in there that's getting ready to grow, okay? It's stored inside. Food for the tiny plant embryo is stored inside the seed is the cotyledon. This food storage keeps the plant embryo alive until it germinates and begins to grow. On larger seeds, you may see a tiny scar where the seed was attached to the plant. This is called the hilum and is the seed's belly button. So look at these bean seeds right here. And if you have bean seeds at home, you could see this. That little button right there, that's the hilum of the seed, okay? That's the hilum of the seed. Let's go to our next slide. Okay, so parts of the seed. So do you see how they put the seed in water and then they opened it up? So now you could see the embryo, that's the little part that's going to grow. And the seed coat is the outer covering, that's the part that's gonna come off. And then all of that other stuff in here, that's the food, okay? That's the food for the plant. That's the food for the plant. Okay, and here are the directions to observe the inside of the seed, to observe the inside of a seed, okay? Use your hand lens, and if you have one at home, you could use it, okay? To observe your dry bean. So what does the bean look like? Write what you see on your recording page, and I will put your recording page inside, the picture inside, and or you could just write it in your journal, okay? Predict what the seed will look like inside. Carefully split open your wet bean. So once it's soaked, okay? So, and it tells you down here what you need. 1 soaked lima bean, 1 dry lima bean, a paper towel, and your recording page. Carefully split your wet bean open. Use your hand lens for the parts of the seed and write your observations on the recording sheet, okay? And then you have another sheet. It says label the parts of the seed. And as you can see, and you could draw this and label it. Remember, this is the embryo. That's the embryo. That's the food. So we're gonna say that's the food. And this part right here is the seed coat. That's the seed coat. And it says, can you find the hilum on your seed? And the hilum would be right here. That's where the hilum would be on your seed. The belly button for the seed would be right there. And so this is the page that you would use. And instead of writing that big word in there, parents, or KA, we're gonna write the word food. This part right here in the middle, that's the food for the plant, okay? And I will be adding those 2 pages into your, with all the other pictures that I have for you. Okay? All right, so let's go to our next slide. Once the seed has dropped from the plant or blown by the wind into healthy soil, it can germinate. So once you put your seed into some soil, then it can germinate. It can germinate. Germination begins when the temperature is warm enough and the seed is given water. The water softens the seed and the coat can break open. The roots grow down into the soil and then the shoot grows up through the soil towards the sun. And then on our next slide, it shows you stages of germination. So we have our seed, and here's our seed coat breaking open, and our roots going down, and then that shoot starting to shoot up, and that's what becomes the stem of the plant. That becomes the stem of the plant. Okay, and so you can germinate a seed, and you can use a damp the paper towel with water, place your bean inside the paper towel, fold the paper towel over the bean and place it inside the bag. Leave the bag open at the top so that air can circulate. And so remember we had our plastic bag, and like I said, I don't have any beans, So when I get some, then I will do it with you. Okay, so you're gonna get a paper towel and put your beans inside, and you're going to close it up. Well, don't close it. Leave it open. Fold those beans inside a wet paper towel. Okay, and put it in there so that air could circulate through. Okay, and then you're going to observe what happens during that time, and that could also go into your journal. That could also go into your journal. And parents, I believe I already sent you this packet, but if not, they can just write down what they see day one. What do they see? Okay, so begin a seed observation journal. Check your seeds for changes every few days and write down the changes you observe in your journal. Draw the changes you observe. Okay, so you're just watching what happens to a seed. Okay, tomorrow our lesson is going to be the parts of a plant. The parts of a plant. That will be our lesson tomorrow.